What you're about to watch is someone doing something she never thought she'd have the courage to do. In just under 2.5 hours, I will be boarding my first solo international flight.
And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to invite our concierge members to board.
I'm going to Tokyo, and it is the first country on my journey to solo travel to 40 countries before I turn 40. And right now I am 30 years old. I've booked so many solo trips within the United States. Booked a trip to Portugal, and I ended up canceling all of my trips just because, I mean, it was a mixture of timing and also I was scared. I was scared to go. And this is the first trip that I have followed through with.
Oh, it's me. Okay. Yeah, this is
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'd like to thank you for flying with Japan Airlines, member of the One World Alliance. ただいまから非常用設備についてご案内いたします。
This is me doing something I kind of never thought I would do. I would have the guts to do. And, you know, though it's scary, I was talking to my sister-in-law yesterday as I was preparing to go on this trip, and we were just talking about just how much more rewarding it is to follow through with something that you initially were terrified to do. And that's what this trip is for me. Like going to uncharted territory. I've never been to Asia. No one in my family has ever been to Asia. Doing it alone, not knowing, you know, what to expect. It's just uncharted territory. But right now I'm letting my excitement outweigh my fear, and I'm just ready to get there.
The plans we made and chances we take.
We have landed at Tokyo International Airport.
I feel everything more with
47
you.
in the afternoon.
Quiet confidence
We apologize
and
for the
trusting
fast
every
delay.
step.
Please disable from the forward engine.
And we know that our faith will get us through. It's so obvious, forever calling us. And this time we won't wait and wonder anymore.
They have Uber here. Oh, didn't know that. Okay, great. That's gonna be a help. I hope it's not very expensive. I was just gonna go on the subway, but since it's like my first time here and I've never used a subway, I feel like I want to make it easier on myself and try to just get an Uber if I can, if it's affordable. But okay, so I'm on my way to customs right now, and then going to get my luggage. So I have no idea where I'm going right now. I'm looking for either like a taxi service or a limo bus.
This is the moment right before I found out that the cheapest way to get to my hotel is on a train.
It's in the unknown that I find home. I will rest my head in the desert, and I know life gets sweeter when I don't know.
I don't know if I'll ever have the feeling of this moment again. Knowing that I just crossed over into being the person I'd always wanted to be.
Mama, you'll be so proud of me. Look how far we've come. Never once did you not believe you knew it all along.
Good morning, good people. I am officially about to experience my first full day in Japan. Right now it's like 7:45. I woke up at 6:30. The plan was to get out of the door at 6 o'clock, but that didn't work out. I went to sleep a little bit later last night because I did get into my hotel room around 7, didn't get settled until 10. Slept really, really well, and so I'm refreshed and ready for the day. So let's go.
As I was making my way to the subway, I stumbled upon one of the only open spots for breakfast, and I decided to step in. I was quickly informed I needed to order outside at the kiosk, which I later found out was a common practice for a lot of restaurants in Tokyo. Matsuya is a chain of restaurants which is known for its gyudon, a sweet and savory dish made of tender beef and onion served over rice. But at the time I didn't realize that, so I just went with one of their beef set meals, which came with grilled beef, rice, salad, and miso soup. It was delicious. Before coming to Tokyo, I heard that the restaurant dining experience can be silent, and I experienced that here. But being an introvert, I thoroughly appreciated the calm and quiet atmosphere.
So I just finished my breakfast and it was delicious. The food is so flavorful. That was officially my first meal here in Tokyo. I am about to go get on the subway.
I decided to dive into the deep end on my first day, which meant exploring Shibuya and the world's busiest pedestrian crossing. To get there from where I was staying in Ota Ward, I boarded the Keiku line at Hiwajima Station. And transferred at Shinagawa onto the JR Yamanote line, which took me to Shibuya. The moment I stepped off the train at Shibuya Station, I could feel the electric energy of the place. A mix of tourist excitement, locals hurrying to where they needed to go, others just walking back and forth across the crossing, wanting to experience the scramble that happens the moment the traffic lights turn red. And others, like me, letting it finally sink in that we were truly here in Tokyo.
I'm looking for a ramen spot right now called Ichiran. I don't know how to pronounce any of these words and I don't want to butcher them.
Ichiran Ramen is a famous tourist spot in Tokyo, and I can attest to that because I waited 50 minutes to get in here. But they're also famous for a number of other reasons. Their fresh-made daily noodles, the fact their ramen is served in 15 seconds, their signature red sauce, and of course, the privacy you get when dining in one of their cubicles. The flavor, the spices, the blend of fresh ingredients was perfection. This being my first ramen in Tokyo, I found no flaws in it or the experience. But if you ask a local, they'll tell you that Ichiran is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Tokyo ramen. After an exciting day of exploring K-pop pop-up shops and Japanese bookstores, I decided to reluctantly call it a day and head back to Ota Ward. But first, I stopped in at the local grocery store to pick up some things for my week stay. I would say that this is where culture shock truly set in. Walking through aisles and aisles of food labeled in a foreign language really reminded me that I was in a foreign land. But I was still able to find what I needed before I headed back to my apartment hotel. So since I've spent a full day here in Tokyo, I feel like I can now give an official first impression of this city. Well, at least of what I've seen so far of it, which is Shibuya and the Ota Ward area. So I didn't know what to expect coming here. Like, I did a lot of research, but coming here and experiencing it for yourself is a totally different thing. And so there were things that surprised me. So overall, my general first impression of Tokyo is that it is an extraordinary place. Japanese people, I feel, are such a kind people. That's what I've gotten so far from being here for a day. And then one thing I have noticed is that the locals move with intention, especially on the subways. When you get off of the subway, you need to know where you're going, or else you need to step aside because there's no meandering. People get off the subway and then they walk fast. I appreciate that, but I also, me being the tourist that has no clue where she's going, I had to step aside a few times and get my bearings and then jump back into the flow of traffic. Those subways be packed, okay? People will cram into the subways as much as they can, which I don't mind at all because I've been to Africa and I've ridden in a combi where people pack into combis like sardines. So I am about that life. One thing that I did notice that was really cool was there are priority seats on the subway for, you know, the elderly, people who have kids, and then people who have medical conditions. And people honor that. People don't sit there. Another thing that just is such a display of Japanese culture of kindness and intentionality when it comes to thinking about the needs of people is the fact that on the sidewalks, they have guides for people who are blind, which I was like, whoa, that is so cool. It's everywhere. And I was literally amazed because I didn't know what those were when I first got here and I had to look it up. But man, how thoughtful, you know, how kind and thoughtful. You'll see them everywhere you go. You'll see those guides for people who need them. I just think that that is incredible. Okay, no trash cans on the sidewalks. Now I know one of the customs here in Japan is that you don't eat and walk, but there's also no trash cans anywhere except for like in certain stores, or, you know, when you get off the subway, they have like vending machines and then they have like a trash receptacle thing right next to the vending machine, but a trash can is hard to find here. Other than that, I think the last thing I would say as far as first impressions is Tokyo is just such a peaceful place. The people are so peaceful. On the subway, where you would think it would be super loud, even in the station, it's virtually quiet except for the TVs in the subway. This is a big city that doesn't feel overwhelming just because it's just so peaceful. It's just such a peaceful place. So I'm so excited to explore more of Tokyo. This is only the first video in my Japan series. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure that you hit that like button and also make sure you subscribe so you never miss out, and I will see you in the next one.